For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Welcome to another edition of the Focus program. Pretty fancy new open there. I like that. That's pretty wild there in the control room. We are glad you are here. We've got a very interesting show lined up for you today. 4 very interesting segments with lots of information about Marine City, St. Clair, and everything that's going on in the Blue Water area. Let's begin with a friend by the name of Jim Heslip, the new police chief for the city of Marine City. Nice to see you. Welcome.
Great to be here.
And congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
Before we started, you said we were reminiscing about your tenure here at the Marine City Police Department. 17 years, amazing.
17 years. It's been a long journey, but I'm glad to be in my hometown and being able to lead our department and show the wonderful areas that we have to offer to the citizens of the town.
When you started, where were you before?
I started out a brief stint with City of Auburn Hills.
Okay.
Just kind of made minor mistakes there, and ultimately took about a year off after that. Did some substitute teaching.
Really?
Went back and do part-time police work with the City of Yale, City of Richmond. Ultimately came back home in 2000. So.
And from that point, you were a patrol officer. Then you worked your way up through the ranks and have gone through numbers of changes with numbers of different chiefs and now you are the chief.
Correct. You know, looking back, did I ever see myself in this position? Eventually, not so soon. I mean, 43 years old, and I have several more years before I retire. But like I said, I'm glad to be there, and I'm proud of where the department's at, and I'm looking forward to taking us further. How
many men and women on the department now?
There are
round figures.
3 full-timers and about 11 part-time.
Oh, so 11.
14, okay. 15 people. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. That's amazing.
Yep. Great department, great group of people.
Good. You are here today to talk about a program that is countywide, nationwide, I think.
It's nationwide, yes, sir.
It's called Drug Take Back on October 22nd. What's it all about?
What we do is we open up our doors from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and we allow anybody who wants to dispose of any prescription medication, whether it's old prescriptions, expired prescriptions, prescriptions you just want to get rid of, we'll take it all. The only thing we do not accept will be syringes, liquids, and patches. But bring them on in, empty the bottles out, we'll take them, no questions asked, and we'll dispose of them for you.
Wow. Is this the first year Marine City's done it? I know the county's done it.
We've done it the last, I think since it started. I think this is our 7th, 8th time doing it. Maybe it started 6 years ago. I don't know the figures. That was kind of before, I got involved with the administrative portion of it, but we've been involved with it for a couple years now.
And Sheriff Donlin has said that they get great numbers of quantities of drugs. And so do you take the drugs that you get in from this drug take-back program and give them to the county, or what's the procedure?
The procedure is we have a local drug enforcement agent, the DEA,
okay,
that we contact. They bring us boxes and bags to put all the medication in, and then the following Monday we contact them. They come pick it up, they weigh it, and they take it and dispose of it in their incinerator. They get rid of everything for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
What other things do you want to talk about the department?
One thing the city manager and I have discussed, and part of my 90-day plan when I took over, is I want to implement a city hall, or not a city hall, a town hall meeting, I should say.
Oh, okay.
December 1st, we're going to have it, it'll be an hour before the commission meeting starts. It'll be at 6 p.m. December 1st. Welcome any and all questions, concerns that the citizens may have. Part of my process moving forward is I want to be community oriented.
I like that.
I want people to be able to come and say, hey, this is our concerns, this is what we expect, and who doesn't want to ask a cop a question?
Right.
The chief, and I'll be sitting there front and center. I think the city manager will be there. I have a couple other officers there, and we want to hear it. We want to hear what their concerns are and open up our doors. I want an open door policy.
I think that's very important, and I think that you'll probably get great response.
I'm hoping so. Yep, hoping so.
Good. You are going to be leaving us in a couple seconds because you have another hat that you wear. It's a hat with football?
I do. I am a assistant coach with the JV football team.
All right.
So we're traveling down to see Grosse Pointe North tonight to finish up our season.
How is the season?
Season was okay. It was, it was a struggle at first. With the beginning of the season, I was the freshman defensive coordinator, and because of some injuries and the low numbers, we had to combine the freshman program into the JV program, and so ultimately those teams were combined, and it's kind of hectic. But through some bumpy roads, we're ready to take on the Grosse Pointe North, and hopefully we come home victorious. So
great.
Yeah.
There's a nice story in the Times Herald today about Ron Glodich and the varsity team, where they've had a struggle this year, but they've come over. They've stood up to the challenge, and they're coming into that last game against Grosse Pointe North this weekend. So.
Yeah, that's correct. They have also battled their way back, and coming in tomorrow night, I do believe, looking at the internet and the points that the team has, they come up victorious. I think they got a pretty good chance to go in the playoffs. So
please keep us in the loop on anything that you want to talk to the public about. We'll be happy to have you back here in this forum, and congratulations on your new position.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything.
You do a great job.
Thank you.
We should take our hat off to Neiman's Family Market. We had a video of that last week, and we should just remind people of what happened.
Yeah, that was a generous donation between them and Coughlin Jewelers. They had a fundraising event and were generous enough to donate money to us, to the St.Clair Police Department, to the Sheriff Department, St.Clair Fire Department, and our fire department. So it was nice to see good thing like that happen.
And each unit got $350 or something like that.
I think the check was $310 or something.
But more importantly, they gave you a gift card for bagels and cream cheese.
Yeah, my guys were more happy about that than the $310. Yes,
Jim,
sir.
thanks again.
Thank you,
very
sir.
much. We'll be back with our next guest in just a second. Seems like today is Marine City Day. Our next set of guests is from Marine City, and they're from the very active group called the Friends of the City Hall. The president of that, Becky Lepley, back to the Focus set. Nice to see you again. Always a pleasure to see you.
Absolutely.
You brought along Louise, and pronounce your last name.
Butel.
Butel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And Joe Moran down on the end.
Hi,
nice
Paul.
to see you. What is going on with the Friends?
Well, every once in a while, and this is our year to do it, we have a Halloween ghost tour in City Hall.
In the old building.
In the old building, we have 3 certified ghosts, certified by a group called Beyond the Veil out of Ferndale.
Okay.
And they come in and set up their equipment and track ghosts. And every time they came up with the same 3. And we tell the story of these 3 ghosts. And if you've ever seen...
Not the Ghost of Christmas Past and all that kind of stuff.
No. But if you've seen the television show, Ghost Hunters, I think it's called, the Grainy Green film, I've watched it, and you can certainly see them. Then we had a lady come in with an app on her phone for ghost hunting and found the same 3. So they're certified. And we have an addition this year, besides the 3 ghost stories that we tell, we have a zombie cop. We have believe it or not, one of our Marine City police officers is a zombie, and he's going to be there to
off duty
to tell ghost stories to that. And it's such a good group, and these 2 people have just thrown themselves into our activities, and I just appreciate them so much in their help that they do. Louise is, one of the things that they'll get is homemade cookies.
Oh.
Louise is one of our cookie bakers.
Joe
is one of our ushers. Last time we had almost 400 little kids. And
really?
We only have 2 hours to move them through the building. So our ushers are particularly, and we like our ushers and some of our people to dress up as Captain America, the Justice League, so that the kids feel safe and so forth.
Is this in the same time as the official trick-or-treating, or is it separate?
It's separate. It's October 29th, which is a Saturday.
All right.
From 4 to 6 p.m. We like to get them through before the sun sets.
But is it mainly for youth?
It is for elementary school children. It is geared to their shorter attention span.
Okay. I like that.
If they come in costume, they get a goodie bag, and in the goodie bag, they get to be a junior officer with the Marine City Police Department. They get these mints. They're called commit mints for preventing child abuse.
Okay.
And some information on that. Plus cookies and a $1 gift certificate to the Sweet Tooth.
Oh my God.
And we give them all a goodie bag and send them on their way. And also, this is a community building, and a lot of the children have no idea what it's like on the inside, so they get introduced to the building in a way that's fun and and very Halloweeny.
Louise, how did you get involved with the Friends?
Well, when we moved to Marine City, one of the first things we noticed was City Hall, because it's kind of right there and hits you in the face, and we thought it was a beautiful building, so we looked into it and decided it was a worthwhile project, and it's been very interesting. It's something that, if you look at that building, it can bring the city together, and it can be used, as it's being used for the Halloween ghost tour, as a fun place. Eventually it can be used for all kinds of activities, including the auditorium, which has beautiful acoustics, the Opera House.
Yeah, that's quite a stage up there, and
yes, it is.
It's a very large room, much larger than people would probably expect just looking at the
Yes, it is.
outside.
And when we've had people present music there, they've requested that they could come back and record, so that's how good it is. And if you think of the Orchestra Hall in Detroit, when it was falling down, that's exactly how it began to come up again. So.
You're right, that is absolutely true. And Joe, you're going to be an usher. I think everybody will be able to see you.
Very scary.
Very scary Joe. Very scary Joe Moran. And your involvement with the Friends?
Well, the building itself is Marine City's icon. It's the Eiffel Tower.
I thought you were
Big
the
Ben.
Marine City.
Well, it's larger than I am. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And it's just a fabulous edifice. And Louise is right. When you go inside from the jail, which is itself, if that doesn't scare the kids straight, I don't know what will.
That's right.
But as she said, the Opera House is phenomenal. We had people during Marine City Heritage Days that played without microphones, and the sound just went right around that room just beautifully. So it's a fabulous building, and this is a fabulous activity. As you probably know, we just had a great weekend in town with popcorn and pumpkins and
Gary
stuff.
and
Laura
should be complimented for all their efforts. They really did a great job.
And this is yet another thing that we're doing in Marine City. It's a tremendous community. This is another one of our tremendous community activities, and we hope we get lots of kids this year to come out and participate.
I think you will. You've obviously talked to all the elementary schools and the parents.
Every elementary school child in the East China school system got one of these flyers.
That's wonderful.
So,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, we want them to enjoy themselves in a safe environment and also connect with that bridge to the past.
And this is sponsored by Todd,
Friends
the
of
Sweet Tooth, and the Friends. That's
Friends
good.
of City Hall.
That Todd is very involved.
Isn't he? Yeah.
Does the Friends have a web page or?
We do. Friendsofcityhall.com, and also we're on Facebook.
Okay.
Friends of City Hall.
Okay. Have we missed anything?
Probably, but won't remember it till tomorrow.
You can come back.
Well, I think one of the things that we should remember is that Friends is organizing this and doing it. This is something that Friends does for the community. It's not something that we take from the city or take from the citizens of Marine City. It's a gift from us to them.
Wonderful. Good thought.
Educational. It's free. We don't make a dime on it. Everything is donated and volunteered.
Okay, very good. Friends of the City Hall in Marine City are with us today, and it's your invitation to get involved in the Halloween Ghost Tour, with Joe being a big scary welcoming.
Lurch. We'll nickname him Lurch.
Lurch. Be back with information about some activities going on in St. Clair in just a second. November brings a wonderful event to the St. Clair area each and every year, and it's sponsored by a very active organization called the St. Clair Women's League. Lynn Grover, what is your title this year?
President.
President?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
And Mary Skripek.
Right.
Nice to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You are both active members in a great organization
Yes.
called St. Clair Women's League, and you are here to talk about a great dinner.
Yes, our
Talk to me.
ethnic festival this year.
Talk to me.
It's on November 3rd, and our theme is Bright Lights on Broadway.
What is Bright Lights on Broadway? You going to have dancers?
Well, no. You could dance, so if you
could do-
wanted.
Okay.
We've chosen 5 plays, thank you, to base our theme, our dinner theme on. So the whole menu is around our theme.
Okay.
And this year it's five different plays.
And
it's
what are the
November.
plays?
Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Okay, there's some good music
Chicago.
there.
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the
Chicago.
Opera.
So you got and then they're picking foods that go with those.
With those plays. Yes.
And it's held at Martha Collins's Rivercraft?
Yes, it is. On November 3rd at 5 o'clock, doors open.
Okay, and you normally fill the house.
Yes, we do.
We have about 200 people.
Yes.
200 people, that's marvelous.
Yes.
And it's a great evening of entertainment and a great just being with other people from the neighborhood, from the area,
Yes.
and seeing old friends and having a delicious meal. And then, aren't there some prizes too?
Oh, our
Talk to
local
me about that.
businesses donate a bunch of prizes for raffle. And we have different degrees of prizes based on the value, obviously.
Right.
And that's all done by local businesses. We have some very generous business owners
Very
in the area.
generous.
And you have, if I remember correctly, a great big huge liquor basket normally,
Yes.
and with a cheer.
A basket of cheer, yes.
So
Or several.
or several. Talk to me about what the Women's League is. What is it? What does it do?
The Women's League is a nonprofit organization that raises funds for local other nonprofit organizations. We do things like give money to kids in distress or the food pantry. And then we also have scholarships for high schools
Oh, okay.
and returning women's scholarships. We do community grants, community school grants. And I think you have a picture today of one of those grants.
There was a nice story in the Times Herald the other day that you reached out to Palms Elementary in Marine City and put down a bench. What kind of a bench was it?
It's called a friendship bench, and it's to be used for the children to, as an open invitation, if I'm sitting there, to come join me.
Yeah, the bench is on the air right now, and I think it says, what's the word say?
Friendship bench.
Friendship bench, okay.
And it's an open
On our
invitation
buddy bench.
for someone,
Okay.
once you
Oh, it's
sit
over
there.
here. There
There
you
we
go.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's out on the playground, and that's
Yeah.
a great idea because many times
Yes.
kids are pretty shy.
Well, not only that, or they're troubled, or they need someone to talk to, or they just want to talk instead of run around.
That's
So
okay.
it's a great idea.
Yeah. So you guys came up with the idea, or did you hear
No.
about it from the school?
The school came up with the idea, and we're just one of the donators for
Oh,
that because
okay.
they had someone landscape and someone install it. So it was a
Community
effort.
kind of project.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So we give out 3 of those every year.
Wonderful.
We give out 5 scholarships for high school and 3 or 4 for the returning women. That was maybe someone that's been in the home and then wants
Yeah.
to go to work, needs some kind of certification or
Right.
more college
Okay.
for a
And
new
Mary,
job.
what is your responsibility? Are you doing all the cooking?
No, actually, we have a basket called the Taste of St. Clair, and I go around to all the restaurants in the city in outlying areas from St. Clair, and I get them to donate dinner or money to this basket. It's one of our big prizes. For example, we have a couple that are worth $50.
Oh my God.
A couple, the Chinese restaurant, if I can name him, gave us 6 $10 gift certificates.
Oh my God.
I mean, people are so generous, you know, that they know me because I've been doing this for a number of years. So people are very, very good, you know, and it's one of our big baskets. So
you'll have tons and tons of baskets and great prizes.
Yes. One of our more unusual gifts is Captain Andrew, who owns the Red Witch, which is a tall ship, also owns the Raven, which is here in St. Clair in the harbor. Donated a
cruise?
Cruise.
Oh my God.
For you and 19 of your
19 of my closest friends?
Closest friends.
I'll have to look in the telephone book.
Yeah, there you go.
19 other,
I'll go with you.
18 other people.
So that's one of our more unusual gifts.
Yeah.
The river crab does light appetizers, and he does the cruise.
Oh my God. Is that the one that's been tied up in the harbor?
Yes, for like 6-8 weeks now.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a nice looking boat. That'd be a great
fantastic.
ride. That'd be a great ride.
Especially down our beautiful stretch of the river.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, when and how do I get tickets, and when is it, and all that kind of stuff again?
Okay, it's November 3rd at the River Crab from 5 to 10.
Okay.
You can get tickets at the Hers Women's shop on the north side of Riverside Mall. And we're also looking for any new members, so any ladies that would like to join.
Okay. Talk about the group. How many women are in it, round figure?
About 50.
Oh, that's a good group.
It is a very good
What
group.
are the requirements? Do I have to live within the city limits? Or?
No, you don't. Just to be a lady and willing to volunteer for your community.
All the money goes back.
Into
All the money goes back into the area.
Very good.
And we check that too. Make sure that if you ask us for money, it gets used the way you said it was going to get used.
Okay.
We also have a volunteer extraordinaire that we pick a volunteer. It can't be within the Women's League.
Right. A local
person, and we surprise them with balloons and
oh my God,
and give them a gift certificate to dinner, and you know. So
that's great.
We did a young woman a couple of years ago. I think she was a St. Mary's student, and she collected gifts for Toys R
Toys for Tots,
and so we sponsored.
Oh, that's a great one. That's a great one. All righty, so it's November the 3rd.
Yes.
Thursday, November the 3rd. You can get tickets from Joanne Strzelecki at the Hers Fashions.
Yes.
And just come and have a great evening.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Lynn,
you.
Did we cover it all?
I believe we did.
Mary, good seeing you again. Thanks for coming. We're going to hear about a movie that was produced locally, Mary Buttons. We got the producer here. He'll tell us about it in just a minute. His name is Brian Moss, and he is famous and infamous in St. Clair and counties wide around, and he's currently the president of the St. Clair Theater Guild.
Which is experiencing its 50th year.
50. My golly, you must have been in grade school when you joined.
Yeah. Sounds good anyway.
Welcome, my friend. Good to have you back. You are here to talk about a movie presentation of Mr. Grovier's movie called Mary Buttons. Talk to me about it.
Well, it's a joint fundraiser between St. Clair Theater Guild and the Knights of Columbus Hall out on Rattle Run. I have to let Ray tell you about the movie itself.
Right.
I had the opportunity to actually perform in this movie, and it was done throughout Michigan. I mean, we were at the Holly Hotel, Crossroads Village. I can't remember what all else.
The historical
Lapeer Courthouse.
Lapeer Courthouse, and also the historical jail on the west side of the state.
Wow.
It was kind of fun. It was a lot of fun, actually.
When is the fundraiser? Then we'll get to Ray.
Okay, it's October 29th at the KSC. Tickets are $15. We have 2 shows, 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock.
Okay.
And just a little note, Michigan State games at noon.
Okay, so that'll be over.
No conflict.
No conflict. All right, Ray, I know this has been a labor of love, and you produced it, I believe. You were the producer.
Right.
Were you the writer, too?
Yes, I was the writer in coordination with my daughter, Charlene.
Right.
She's an English major, so I exposed her talents to help her dad out.
What was the story?
Okay, my grandparents came to America from Europe in 1902, and they moved to Harrison Township in Mount Clemens. They were doing real well. They had the sugar beet factory there. They raised sugar beets. They had cows and pigs and so on and so forth. And in 1910, there was a complaint by a local school teacher that the animals were not housed properly, right? And the sheriff knew my grandfather, so he went out to the farm. Let's back up a little bit. The school teacher did a warrant, and so the sheriff had to present the warrant to my grandfather. Well, since he knew him, he said, "Well, I'll just go out there on the way home from work, and I'll give it to him." Well, they had bought a new farm, and my grandfather and 3 of his older sons were at the new farm fixing it up, and the only person at home was my grandmother and 2 of the youngest, or actually 3 of them. My aunt, my dad was 8 years old, and my 13-year-old uncle, Ben. And so the sheriff went to the farm, and it was dark already. And my grandmother could speak very little English, so he went to the front door, which had no steps on it, because in those days, the hearse would back up to the house to load the bodies in if someone died. So he knocked at the door, and he asked for my grandfather, and my 13-year-old uncle said that he wasn't at home, and so he said, "Well, I know you're home," and he got a little bit, I don't know how to say, well, anyways, he tried to open the door, and the door was nailed shut, and the dog was inside the house barking at the door. And I remember my dad saying that he had to pull the dog away, and so quickly my grandmother told my 13-year-old uncle to get the shotgun and shoot at the bottom of the door to scare the bad man away. Mm-hmm. And he did that, and but since the sheriff was standing on the ground, it caught him right here on the shoulder, and he managed to get back to his horse and buggy and get back to Mount Clemens, to the jailhouse, where they got the doctor right away, but the doctor could see that he wouldn't survive, and so he died the next day.
So this is the movie that you produced on that whole story?
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty entailed.
Yeah, that's the setup.
Yeah.
Right.
We go on to the court case.
So my grandmother, so right away they got a posse, and they went out to the farm to arrest my grandfather. Well, he wasn't there because he was at the new place. Right. And so they went back to Mount Clemens, and they finally figured out that my grandfather wasn't there, and so they went back to the farm and they arrested my grandmother and my uncle, and they were in jail the whole month of December, through Christmas, and the trial was started on January the 3rd, 1911, and it went for about 10 days.
Well, we don't want to give away the final, what happened at the trial.
Right, and
we
also
want people to come.
And also why the movie is called Mary's Buttons.
Why is it called Mary? Well, they'll have to come
That's
find out.
what you got to find out.
All right. Well, it sounds like, and you shot it all over southeastern Michigan.
Yes, we did.
You had a lot of local actors. In fact, you flew this guy in from New York City, where he was on Broadway doing a Broadway play, and he came to do it.
Right. Brian's a bartender.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a bartender at the Holly Hotel.
Typecasting.
Yes. No problem there.
You've had that role many times.
Yes. And
Well,
hope to again.
It sounds like fun, and it certainly is. There a lot of other local actors in it and actresses?
Yeah, they're all local actors. Well, I mean, they're from the Detroit area,
Right.
And Mount Clemson, the Grosse Pointe. I actually did fly in a girl from Boston College. She could speak Flemish, and she helped us a lot. And she's at the beginning of the movie. She's in the movie too. Beautiful. And there was a few from, like one was from Indiana, and one person was from California, and the cameraman was from Ohio, and it was
a good group. Good group.
It took us
When
a
was
month.
it produced? When was it first shown?
Okay, it was first showing here at the Performing Arts Center here in East China.
Yeah.
We showed it to about 800 people.
Wonderful.
And we also showed it at the Lance Cruz Performing Arts Center in Mount Clemens to about 400 people. We showed it in Lapeer. We showed it at the Lapeer Library. We showed it a few places, but it actually hasn't never been released. And another note is it's going on Amazon Prime. I would say after November the 1st.
Good. Great.
So
well, good luck to you.
It's pay-per-view.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
Type thing.
All right, Brian, what's the dates and times again?
October 29th, 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. We'll have free popcorn, and pop will be available.
Okay. All right.
And here's the next thing.
Okay.
We're sending Susan to you next
That's
month.
right. I understand that. I talked to her today.
To talk about our 50 years of Broadway musical review that's coming up in June.
That'll be great.
It should be.
It'll be wonderful.
We're excited about the number of people who
Want to perform?
Good. Want to come back and do that.
Ray, good luck on Amazon Prime.
Okay, thank you.
It's been a labor of love. I know the movie, and certainly got great ties to your family. Before we go, I just want to remind you of course, the election. There's been lots of debates and all that kind of stuff going on. This is a sample ballot from the city of St. Clair, and they are pretty much all the same in the Channel 6 coverage area: Marine City, Columbus Township, Casco Township, St. Clair Township, East China Township, and on. On the front, you will find the national and many of the state offices, the Board of Education, the Michigan region, et cetera, et cetera. What I encourage you to do is make sure you turn it over, because that's where all the local activity is. Whether it's a city council or a city commission kind of office, that'll be on the back side. Also, there's the East China School District has election for 2 candidates out of, there's 5 running. The East China School District also has a non-homestead millage operating proposal, which is on the back, which is very important to the school district. And then there's community college and all sorts of things. So make sure you vote, and when you do, you vote the front, and you also vote the back of the ballot. We have to exercise that option and that opportunity each and every year. Thanks very much for tuning in again. This is the Focus Program. Till next time, I'm Paul Dingeman. Thanks very much for tuning in.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.